Hi there. Today we're looking at the very final presidential debate between Trump and Biden. It's a very interesting debate. It was definitely much better than the very first debate, but we're not going to analyze the whole thing. We're just analyzing that very last question. Now, just for clarity, I have no affiliations with either of those political sides, and I'm not even American, but I think it's a great place where we can learn more about how we can debate, how we can frame our answers, especially on TV and under a lot of pressure. So let's see how both of them went.
Imagine this is your inauguration day. What will you say in your address to Americans who did not vote for you? You'll each have 1 minute, starting with you, Mr.
We have to make our country totally successful as it was prior to the plague coming in from China. Now we're rebuilding it, and we're doing record numbers, 11.4 million jobs in a short period of time, et cetera. But I will tell you, go back. Before the plague came in, just before, I was getting calls from people that were not normally people that would call me. They wanted to get together. We had the best black unemployment numbers in the history of our country. Hispanic, women, Asian, people with diplomas, with no diplomas, MIT graduates, number one in the class. Everybody had the best numbers. And you know what? The other side wanted to get together. They wanted to unify. Success is going to bring us together. We are on the road to success, but I'm cutting taxes, and he wants to raise everybody's taxes, and he wants to put new regulations on everything. He will kill it. If he gets in, you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen. Your 401ks will go to hell, and it'll be a very, very sad day for this country.
All right, Vice President Biden.
Let's time out there. Overall, I think Trump did a pretty good job in trying to deliver some of his messages. Not only was he able to blame China, he was also able to deflect some of the criticism of him and ethnicity and his racism, because he talks about how all these other countries contacted him and he listed all those different ethnicities and how he's helped employment. And he also used it as a way to attack Biden. So he did talk about the taxes and how the other side was going to introduce taxes and create a recession. So he did a fantastic job at also creating fear amongst voters. Let's see how Biden went.
Same question to you. What will you say during your inaugural address to Americans who did not vote for you?
I will say I'm an American president. I represent all of you, whether you voted for me or against me. And I'm going to make sure that you're represented. I'm going to give you hope. We're going to move. We're going to choose science over fiction. We're going to choose hope over fear. We're going to choose to move forward because we have enormous opportunities to make things better. We can grow this economy. We can deal with the systemic racism. And at the same time, we can make sure that our economy is being run and moved and motivated by clean energy, creating millions of new jobs. And that's the fact. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to say, as I said at the beginning, what is on the ballot here is the character of this country: decency, honor, respect, treating people with dignity, making sure that everyone has an even chance. And I'm going to make sure you get that. You haven't been getting it the last 4 years.
All right, I want to thank you both for a very robust hour and a half, a fantastic debate. Really appreciate it.
All right, let's just pause there. Now, I thought that Biden also did a fantastic job, but he took a very different direction. He was more of a collective and trying to build a future. His focus was on the future. So even though you voted for me, or even if you didn't vote for me, we're going to come together and we're going to build something. We're going to bring this country back and we're going to make it great again. And that's what I really enjoyed about Biden's answer. It was really forward looking and trying to unite people. What he did really well was the use of the word we. He uses we a lot because he wants to emphasize that everyone is together. Whereas if you think about Trump's reply, if you go back, he uses we a little bit, but he also uses a lot of I. So he's very I focused about what he did. Trump was also focused on maybe more of a defensive and what he has done to protect himself, whereas Biden is more about focusing on the future and also focusing on what makes America great. and those qualities that he mentioned towards the end. Now, Biden's answer wasn't perfect. I mean, if he had a little bit more time, or if he could add more pauses, he could have made that even more presidential and even more electrifying in terms of his charisma. Could have added pauses after the "we can do this," dot, 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 pause. And then "we will do this," pause. So he could have used the pause a lot better to just let those messages sink in more. All right, well, that's my analysis. There are my thoughts. What did you think about both responses from Trump and Biden? Would love to hear your comments. Bye now.